Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sobriety. I am Joshua Abel. So I've gone through 2 shifts at the restaurant, and it's been about almost 2 months since I've worked anywhere. I almost forgot how difficult it was being on your feet on concrete floors in crappy shoes. By the end of the night, my ankles and feet are killing me. I've worked in restaurants for a long time as I was building up my business. Pretty much everywhere is the same. I've worked from at sports bars to a little higher end restaurants. Now, there's a couple things about this steak restaurant that I'm finding questionable. Not that anything is dirty or done inappropriately, but just little things, little details that I'm noticing, like when the food actually goes out to the customer, some of the plates aren't wiped down, so there'll be like sauce splattered on the plate, and it goes out, and I'm like, I wouldn't want to present this to a guest. But, their philosophy right now is, get the food out as quickly as possible. I've had 2 training meals. I had some fried chicken with a cream gravy, and their cream gravy is really bacony. I thought it was really good. And then I had a burger last night, and it's been a long time since I've had a good burger, and let me tell you, this was a good burger. It was really moist and thick, had barbecue and sauce and bacon on it. It was pretty awesome. I saved half of it for lunch today. But one, and this happens in every single restaurant, but it happened pretty frequently yesterday, which kind of gives me a little bit of doubt about how much money I'm going to be able to make. So here in North Carolina, servers are paid $2.13 an hour. It was the same way in Atlanta, and I don't know, that is not a livable wage. So we desperately rely on tips. Well, the person I was following yesterday, we had one party of 3 people whose check came to like $60, and she got $4 on 60. That's not an okay tip. Even especially for the service that we were providing. I mean, they had 2 servers at their disposal. They had everything they could want or need during their experience, and only left 4%. That's less than, or they only left $4. That's less than 10%. And then on a separate occasion, 3 girls came in. They were younger, probably in their late teens, early 20s. And, they were having a good time. And towards the end of their dinner, they started kind of acting, a little standoffish, which, is a clear indication of they know their bill's coming and they're going to have to pay. Well, their check came to $50. And $50 for 3 people, I mean, yeah, that's kind of a high bill. They all had like steaks and things like that. And for 3 people eating steaks, I don't know. To me, that's an excellent price. They left $1.35. Obviously, someone didn't teach them correctly. You don't leave $1.35 on a $50 tab. That is insanity. If you're going out to dinner, you have to expect to include a tip. You have to know that a tip is going to have to be added to that bill. Now, if the service was really crappy and things like that, then yeah, I can understand tipping a little less, but not even $1.35. That is insanity. I mean, don't go out to eat if you're going to do that. That's just plain ignorance. It's terrible. Now, while I'm in training, I don't get any tips, but I felt really bad for my trainer. She has 5 kids that she's, trying to support with her husband. And $1.35? No, that's not all right. And it's those people that I just want to strangle. So, or at least, educate them on proper tipping, because I I can almost guarantee at least one of those 3 girls will probably have to serve in the future. So she's going to learn the hard way. And, I've gone out to dinner with people who tip on the cheap end. And, I'll throw down a couple of extra dollars for the server because I know how hard it is. And Ryan, my ex, he was actually, not a great tipper when we first started dating. He just never knew. He never had to serve. He never understood the culture behind it. How servers actually make their money. People have a tendency to think that they're getting minimum wage plus the tips on top. That's not true. And he would tip like 10 to 12% or something. And so I had to educate him on how it actually works. So I guess the lesson here is, if you're going out to dinner, expect to include a tip. Well, I've got another training shift tonight. Fortunately, I don't have to go through class, which is ridiculous. It's about learning the culture of the restaurant and things like that, which is fine. They're all the same. I mean, they all think they're different, but they're all the same. Just go and provide good service and good food, and that's the job. I mean, it's not rocket science. All right, I guess that was my little rant for right now, but I'll check back in a little later. I gotta go and shave, maybe bleach my teeth or something. But yeah, I guess that's it for now. So it's about 20 minutes before I have to go into work. I took a nap. I had a big lunch, which I wish I hadn't done all that, but I won't be able to eat again until about 10 o'clock or so. But I started thinking about what I had talked about earlier today. I was getting aggravated about people not tipping appropriately and things like that. And it got me to thinking about justifiable anger. And apparently, I've been through AA a couple of times, and I've learned about justifiable anger, and have been told that there is no room in an alcoholic's life for anger. And I'm kind of feeling that, I have two different opinions about that. I can totally understand it because yesterday, my trainer was tipped twice very poorly. And that situation had absolutely nothing to do with me. It didn't affect my pay. It didn't affect anything about me. And yet I'm still aggravated about it. And so it's kind of gnawing at me because I've been in that situation before. I've gotten lousy tips before, even though I generally provide really good service. And B, I'm sure that it will happen again. So in that case, justifiable anger doesn't really need to be in my life. Now, on the other hand, there are times where I believe I have the right to be aggravated. And I think I'm starting to figure out the difference and what I can do in order to alleviate both situations. So to me, justifiable anger is something that I can control. If it's a situation that I can take action to actually alleviate and correct, such as, I get aggravated when a bill collector calls me. I'm like, why do they want money? I mean, why should I have to pay them? I mean, yeah, I racked up the credit cards on stupid things I didn't really need. Yeah, I do have a cell phone that I use all the time. Yeah, I do use water and power, but I mean, why should I have to pay for that? But I'm able to take steps in alleviating that by taking action to actually pay the bills and calm myself down. So, picking up an extra couple of shifts at work, throwing it towards the credit cards, throwing it towards my ridiculous amount of student loans, and, that gives me some sort of satisfaction in that I'm able to correct those situations. The thing with the tips, unfortunately, I'm not able to go up to the customer and be like, hey, your tip really sucked. Why don't you throw down a couple more dollars and make it right? And I unfortunately can't even educate the people about it. So that is unjustifiable anger. There's literally nothing I can do about it. And so the only way I know to alleviate that is to get my mind off of it. I'll take a walk, process the information, and understand that it's literally out of my control. There's nothing I can do about it. And so just being able to compartmentalize, the different types of anger, the justifiable and the unjustifiable. So it gives me a sense of control over some aspects of my life, which helps me get through the process. So I hope this helped you. I would like to give a shout out to my very first subscriber. Thank you, Katie. It's my sister, but a subscriber is a subscriber, and I talked to her yesterday and she's watching the videos, which is very cool. If you like these videos, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below. And I'll talk to you soon. Take care.